Parents have a long tradition of being involved in our public schools. That's one reason our students consistently score in the top 10 on national tests. Working together, we can help every child succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Delicious, decadent, scrumptious, delightful. What other words can I use to describe something so good? I can't even tell it's healthy. How about heavenly? Chef Bob created heavenly waffles with an incredible fluffy recipe packed with protein and loaded with a plethora of angelic toppings to elevate the experience beyond the typical waffle and syrup. Don't just take our word for it. Join us for Heavenly Waffles Wednesday to experience heaven for yourself.
This Wednesday, February 7th from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on the corner of 11th and O.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends here on a gloomy Sunday. Nice weather, but a little bit of rain today. But nonetheless, if you guys ever want to join the show, this is The Breeze, 402-464-5685, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, Allo Channel 961. A great way to put a face to the voice as always. But nonetheless, the host, Haas and DP, how's it going, guys?
Great. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, gentlemen.
So much going on. There's so much we could talk about. There's a couple big basketball games of the Big Ten. We could start there for a minute, and just it's pretty cool to see that comeback. Was it Wednesday night, Thursday night? That comeback. Just wow. Yeah. Two wins in the top six. 2 wins in the top 6. That's historic. I love it.
Well, Haas, being in the room, you kind of try not to miss the moments, right? And the fan base, it was interesting because there is a little trauma that's at the core of Husker basketball fans, where they believe that the next bad thing is going to happen, like the shoe's going to come flying at any moment. And early start, different timetable, packed house, full expectation. The students were in full, and the building sounds different when the students are there and when they're active. Being down 19 to the number 6 team in the country, and to hear the fans talk, well, this is what a number 6 team looks like. This is what it looks like with a team that's going to contend for the national title versus a team that's trying to get in the tournament. This is the difference in what it looks like. But they never left. They never quit, which is a little different than Husker teams and fan bases in the past. They decided to stick it out. They decided to say, you know what the heck? We're here. Let's party. Let's see what this thing's going to be. And to watch the different players all begin to buy in. It starts with a dive on the floor by Sam Hoiberg. It starts, then you get CJ hitting an open three. Then you get Rink Mass off the bench becoming the mastodon and starting to dominate in the middle. Then you get Juwan Gary coming off the bench with an injury and saying, you know what, screw it. I'm locking down this dude that hit us for 20. He going to have to work the rest of the way. And then with Bryce Williams, and then having Josiah Alec. It was amazing. And as each player made a play, then the fan base took another step forward. Like, okay, you're going to dive on the floor. We're going to cheer. Like, we can stand up. Oh, you're going to hit the three on the tough defender. Okay, we see you, CJ. Okay, cool. Oh, Rink, you going to hit the baby hook. Oh, we partying now. Now let's go. And so to watch the whole thing, Pinnacle Bank Arena is it's a special building, high-class building, high-level facility. But it hasn't hosted a lot of big basketball moments lately. And then these young men start to play, and they play hard, and they play well. And now the rest of the Big Ten has realized, whoops, we got another problem on the schedule, because when you got to go to Lincoln, Nebraska, and face this gang that is now wearing the Husker colors and deal with that crowd, hey, the Big Ten's on notice. It's 1-6 is a big get. It's a big get. No matter whether you get them at home or on the road, getting them lets you know that, you know what, if you get into the tournament, nobody's off limits. Everybody can get got. If you can get 2 in the top 10, everybody can get it.
So Harrison, want to hear from you, but one thing that I kept hearing towards the end, and I don't know how many people watch tennis, but what Nebraska basketball has done, other than the Creighton game, is they've held their serve. And in this case, they've held their serve against some of the best returners in the sport. And by that, I mean they did their job. They won at home, but against the best returners, it's really hard to do. If they can win at Illinois tonight against the top 10, top 12, top 15 team, breaking serve of a really good player, Illinois has always been very strong, and they have the size, they have the players, they have the shooting. If they can break serve and win on the road, which is very hard to do in the Big Ten, we've talked about that multiple times. What does that do for Nebraska basketball?
If you can find a way to take down Illinois, you're setting yourself up to be a lock-in. I mean, at that point, that's 3 ranked opponents you take down. That's back-to-back quad 1 wins. You already got the one earlier against Purdue, but a road win is really what's separating Nebraska for being a lock right now. We have to get a road win. You look at some of the teams that don't have as great records, not as impressive wins, but they're able to get wins on the road. They're moved up in the net ranking. If Nebraska can get this one, which I do think they can. I know everyone's kind of making the joke over and over again. I wish we could move the March Madness to PBA, which would be great. But I do think this team got some confidence. Yeah, against Wisconsin. You heard Fred Hoiberg talk about in the press conference, he wasn't going to let the guys rest, even though the analytics say give your guys a rest day, so they got fresh legs for Wisconsin, and they didn't. They looked like they had a little bit of tired legs. Their shots weren't falling. It wasn't a lack of effort, but the guys had a gut check, and they really had probably 4 or 5 moments where they could have laid down, and the fan base might have not gotten as upset just because Wisconsin was playing that well at a certain point in time, and they just quit. They just would not give up. You saw Sam Hoiberg make big plays. Josiah Alec didn't get talked about a lot, but he had a few plays where he's hitting the ground, keeping the ball alive, and just an all-around performance. And you didn't need Keisei Tominaga to have a great game to win that. You saw Rink Mast once again take over, especially late in overtime, and that baby hook is sweet. Something that I think some post players should get back to. You see how unstoppable it is once it's going, but every single player felt like they had a gut check moment, and they really all stepped up to the plate. And even though it wasn't Keisei's best game offensively, he still just adds so much stress to any defense he's playing, because they know if he gets one or two to go in a row, it's trouble. So I'm not worried about Keisei. I know some people are. But this road game against Illinois, I think that this should be a confidence builder versus Wisconsin. And I think they carry that confidence and get a little more grittier on the road, especially with what they had to go through in practice before playing Wisconsin. My belief is that it's in their system. I'm not going to guarantee you win, but I'm not expecting the same kind of road performances we've seen in prior.
So Husker Nation, what you need to see from this is we spent the first 10 minutes of the show talking about Husker basketball. And there's so much going on in sports right now, but the show opens with Husker basketball because Husker basketball deserves it. They're doing so much and they deserve the attention. There's 2 big games in the Big Ten, and we're saying Nebraska being in one of those games is a big game. And so that's awesome. That's awesome. And we could spend the whole show talking about it. DP, you and I were at the Rumble, and man, I wish we could have got that pop. That's what I talked about at midnight and 1 o'clock when we're walking back to the Ubers. I wish we could have got that pop. We didn't get it. And a lot has happened in the WWE that has probably caused what happened on SmackDown. A lot has happened. And so we won't talk about Locke Bresner or Vince McMahon. We won't talk about those guys. Maybe that's caused some changes. I'm a little bit curious with CM Punk. Maybe he knew he tore his tricep. Maybe the plan was for him to win the Royal Rumble. And maybe he was like, Cody, this is ripped. I can't do it. You do it and we'll figure it out. Maybe that was a story. I don't know. I'm making it up. But to have The Rock come when the stories made it look like it wasn't going to happen, and have him come to SmackDown and have the stare down happen. There's a lot I want to say, but what did you think when you saw that?
Okay, so a couple of things. One, the injury in match is always a call on the spot, and depending on where it is and who it is, because a lot of times it's not really known what the finish is going to be. Sometimes the official, in order to get authentic work, the official will give them some notification, some hint of what the finish should be, especially in a case like that. You don't want people to fight as though, they know how it's going to end. So, and in fact, there's a psychology to it, and you understand it. But then to pull it off, and again, why you can rely on Rhodes, and this is why Cody is who Cody is and going to be, is that Cody, when they came to Lincoln in the snow, in the blizzard, Cody was the feature. Cody wasn't supposed to be the feature. Cody was the feature. And Cody stayed. Cody stayed for a good 20 minutes after Friday Night SmackDown here in Lincoln. The same thing happened at the
Raw
Rumble.
character, by the way. A Raw character.
Right, yeah. To stay afterwards, to let people know that I'm here. Like, this is what I'm here for. I'm built for this. And then The Rock, right? Then The Rock. Because nobody can tell me that from a business standpoint that Rock wasn't the better answer. Rock was always the answer. Rock's always the answer.
I have so much on this.
Well, here's the thing. And Harrison, so on social media, there's been a movement, a lot of conversation about, well, we want Cody. We want Cody. We want Cody. Listen, grow up. Grow up. Listen, if Patrick Mahomes and I don't know, let me see, Jalen Hurts are in a room anywhere in the country, and you've got Patrick Mahomes' name on the door and Jalen Hurts' name on the door. people are going to be really happy about lining up and going in that Patrick Mahomes door. Except if you decided that behind them you're going to slap a third door and put Tom Brady's name on it, both of those lines turn around and go straight to Brady's room and let the two young bucks, hey, y'all chill out for a while. The Rock is the guy. He's still the guy. He's still like, he lets you know, don't be mad. If you were me, if you were as good as I am, they wouldn't need me. They wouldn't call me. The ticket price itself, like you could have had an event at Super Bowl week in Vegas. So there's an event Thursday, a media event. In Super Bowl weakness, madness, with the UFC in town and Power Slap in town and the NFL in town. And you know what the event is Thursday? Do you know? It's The Rock talking about Roman Reigns in Vegas. And guess what? Guess where everybody's going to be? You think folks are going to hang out on the other side? Nope. They're all going to be right at the WWE Center. Hey, listen, it's a great move. And it's the story, no matter how it plays out, because there's nobody. I mean, listen, you couldn't do it again. You could do it with Taker. You could get close with Undertaker, right? You could get close. You found out you couldn't get close with Goldberg. You couldn't get close. You could get close, but not closest with Stone Cold. There's nobody. You can go to all the other wrestling factions, and there's nothing. There's nothing that draws the media, draws the money, draws the pop, draws the energy that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson does, especially in the case that it's Roman Reigns. And it doesn't matter how it plays out. It doesn't matter how it plays out. Like, it just doesn't. You're putting the biggest star in the building. If Michael, look, you could put LeBron and them in the room. If Mike showed up, it's a wrap. And nobody care about LeBron and them being in the room. It's a wrap. You imagine that if you did an NFL, if you did like an NBA All-Star game, right? And you announced LeBron and John Morant, you had all the crazy pop and all the cheers, and then they said all of a sudden, and now that guard, 6'6", North Carolina, Michael Jordan. How do you think the roof stays on?
Oh, I'd be hitting K-State Tamanaga, hands over there.
Yeah, the roof would pop off and people would lose their crap. So listen, well done, Dwayne. Well done, WWE. Everybody else, if you were, it's my time. Oh, the story. Look, the story, if the story finishes in 2025, okay. Okay. We've been waiting a long time. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
So DP is referring to some fools in the internet, just saying, okay, look, Cody deserves it. Cody did all this. First off, Cody has been the man for the WWE for the last 12 months. He's done everything. He speaks really well. He goes to everything. He stays after with kids. I interviewed him and he was awesome. He does so many things for the WWE in the last 12 months. Okay. And there's a way to get him his story still at WrestleMania. So let me pause for a second and just remember WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan wasn't supposed to win. It was not supposed to be him. It was supposed to be Batista and Orton, and the fans revolted and they didn't let it happen. So Batista and Orton still got to fight, but they added Daniel Bryan into it. So there's still a way to make this happen. But I'm going to explain why me and DP are definitely on the same page. So hold on. The reason why it could happen. You could have The Rock and Roman, and DP's gonna be like, you're crazy. They have to fight on Sunday night. But you can have them fight on Saturday night and say the winner of that match faces in a triple threat in a unification match, because Seth Rollins got made fun of a good amount on Friday night. And Seth Rollins is also injured. So who knows if Seth Rollins can even go to WrestleMania? Who knows if he can even wrestle? Who knows how much he can do? So maybe he needs a triple threat match to carry him. Maybe he needs a healthy Cody Rhodes to carry him. So the winner of The Rock and Roman Reigns gets the head of the table, gets to be the tribal chief, gets to be the one carrying the red necklace, but also the belts. And then on Sunday night, it's a unification match in a triple threat. And then you go give Cody his story. So you could do all that. But look at this. WrestleMania 17. I remember watching that pay-per-view. Stone Cold and The Rock. I remember watching it with Brian Chie saying Tim and Dylan. I remember where I was and what I did. And we remember the double swerves. We remember all those things, and it was The Rock. Okay? We all know who Dwayne is. If I text them right now that I went to the Royal Rumble and Cody Rhodes won, no offense, they haven't watched wrestling in 20 years. They're going to be like, who? Who? Hey, DP and I are going to WrestleMania, and the main event is The Rock. Yo, can we come too? Can we come too?
Like you put it in Philadelphia, right? This is big. This is big city. This is a big deal. Like you're not going out in the outskirts. This is not Birmingham, Alabama. Listen, man, this is Philadelphia. You going? Wait a minute. This is media. This is a media work. You're right down the road from New York. You're in between New York and D.C. Media's coming. And you put a name up there. You put a name up there that the Eagles have to respect, the 76ers have to respect, the Flyers have to respect. Like everybody there, all the Villanova's got to pay respect to it. The entire space changed Friday night. And I love the fact that less was said. This is how you know it's good work. And Harrison, there is a big part of pro wrestling is the psychology. The things that you say without saying anything, right? The physicality. Okay, that's a psychology. The pacing, the space, the energy in the room, allowing the fans to actually drive the room rather than you driving the fans. And there's nobody. There's two wrestlers currently, maybe three, who could walk in the room, change the room, own the room, and dominate the room. And there's three. And one of them is on the outskirts only simply just because he's aged out. Like Flair, as much as anybody else, like if Flair came out wearing the robe and you thought he was actually gonna put the boots on again, you go, okay, fine. The same probably could be said for Hogan. If Hogan had put on the boa, on the red and yellow boa, and pulled the shirt on, he may have affected the room. But it's Undertaker and Rock. Undertaker doesn't remember for 75% of his career, he didn't talk. And he always owned the room. There was no entrance in all of pro wrestling like The Undertaker. Like he didn't have to say anything. Dude didn't even talk. He was such a badass that he didn't even have to talk.
Is he still 21-1?
We didn't know what his voice sounded like until like 8 years into his career. And then he finally he said 3 words that changed pro wrestling. He rolled his eyes into the top of his head and he looked down at the camera. And if the internet was a thing back then, he would have broke it because he simply said, rest in peace. And everybody in the building crapped their pants. It was a great moment. So what The Rock was able to do Friday and what Undertaker did, there's nobody else in the game right now that can do that.
Is Undertaker 21-1? I know he lost to Reigns later, but is he 21-1 or are they going to erase that one and
well, hey, it may be a thing. We don't listen. A whole lot of things are going to get erased here soon and shortly. I mean, there are things that you're going to have to do. And listen, to in full disclosure, to tell people that the behind the scenes of what's going on with WWE and leadership is so off the charts that we don't have a metric for how to define to you how insane things are behind the scenes at WWE. Hoss,
so they should have had a better story at Royal Rumble. They should have done things better.
You lucky they had the event You lucky they had the event. Like
Right.
to pull that off and
Right.
to have that room, right, just to go. Sponsors are bailing. Personnel was changing. I mean, Hoss and I were standing there minding our own business, and people came up and go, "Hey, look, they're still promoting Slim Jim. That's pretty weird." Slim Jim said they don't want to be a part of it anymore, and we're just looking. Harrison, it's amazing in the space, like being in those events, and then just kind of walking around behind the space. You get it. It's such a vibe. It's such a vibe. To watch, one, the fans, two, the people who work the event, and then three, the security people. See, this is the lost thing. We'll go to break, but the lost thing is, Harrison, when you get the local police officers, and then WWE security, air quotes security, that the police officers hear and see everything. And to have them come and tell you, whoa, you ain't gonna believe what just happened in the back. It's pretty amazing to watch the transition. But this is a high ramp apex moment for WWE in a time where it could have gone the other direction. Somehow they've managed to turn it, twist it, and put lipstick on it. It looks really good for them right now.
And the only way to sweep it under the rug and distract from the disgusting things that may have happened is to bring someone like The Rock out there and have us talk about The Rock and focus on The Rock. So it makes sense from a storyline perspective, because if you were to make a pay-per-view and you said The Rock and Roman Reigns are on at 11, and then there's this match at 8, this match at 9, this match at 10. Okay, those are cool. They're going to be good. They might be all-timers. I'll see you at 11. I'll be there. That's it. That's it. I don't care about any other match. I want to see that match. I will tune into that match.
Yeah.
Well,
Take my
before we
money.
go to break here, we do got one from the Starter Heyman text line from Tommy, trying to figure out what we're going to do with Cody Rhodes. He says Cody should come out in a Corey Schlesinger jersey and run over The Rock. Orange Bowl nightmares. That's how he's getting Cody back in the mix.
Yeah, Cody is not a Nebraska fan. I'll tell you that. He's popular in Nebraska. He's not a Nebraska fan. I'll share that with you.
Well, that being said, of course, go ahead, Haas.
Do you see a Daniel Bryan-esque movement? Do you see a Kofi Kingston? Do you see a Kofi Kingston type movement for Cody Rhodes?
No, it's not necessary. I see a Dusty movement.
So the fans are going to revolt and boo The Rock when he comes out and stuff like that. Do you see that?
Why would you?
I'm not. I'm cheering like crazy. I'm going to have goosebumps. I'm just talking about.
We heard the room that night. The room's the room. The room is the room. The internet, nah, you do what you do. The room that night told you Rock is king.
There you go.
Fair enough. We'll end up with that one. And again, of course, always free to join the show as you've been so far. 402-464-5685. This is The Breeze. We got Haas, DP. I'm Harrison back at the studio. We'll talk to you on the other side.
When you arrived at their basketball game, 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's not just the big game everyone looks forward to, it's the food. If you're hosting a super party, let Hog Wild Pit Barbecue do the cooking so you can cheer on your favorite team. Slow smoked ribs, beef brisket, pulled pork, hot links, and so much more. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's cheese spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's cheese spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's cheese spread today at your local grocery store. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Is your furnace operating like you think it should? Find out with a service check now from the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough system check to make sure you're good to go this winter. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchanger checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. And as always, if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685. You can put a face to the voice on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, Allo Channel 961. And the mill's still open as well. So if you want to meet some of the talent here, feel free, 1040 O Street, stop by, and we'll get some coffee for you as well. But nonetheless, I'll throw it to the host as always. Haas, where do you want to go with it?
Super Bowl. So I have things I want to say about the 49ers. I've made sure not to say too much in the last couple of weeks just because I don't want to put bad voodoo out there and all that. So I want to say this, that it's pretty interesting. I don't follow Taylor Swift's romance too much, but I feel like the things that I've heard in the past is Eventually, the relationships don't last that long. And right now, isn't Kansas City America's team? Like, isn't everyone? No, seriously, think about it. How many people are going to be rooting for Kansas City next weekend?
Way less than how many people will be rooting for the 49ers.
Seriously?
People don't know Kansas City like that. They know Mahomes. They know
You're
Kelsey.
talking about NFL fans. I'm talking about the billions and billions of Taylor Swift fans who are going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess you'll get the Taylor Swift fans, the music fans.
Here's the thing. That's the case for every Super Bowl. This is not a Kansas City Chiefs thing. This is not a Travis Kelce thing. Every Super Bowl becomes about other stuff. And all season long, anytime any athlete dates a celebrity, it becomes the thing. It becomes the thing. It did. The Lakers went through it. The NBA has gone through it. Major League Baseball has gone through it, right? We've seen the people who sit next to the dugout, and the camera always finds them. Everybody knows Diane Cannon, everybody knows Jack Nicholson, everybody knows Spike Lee, everybody knows, like, they pay attention to the people who are there. It's not, I don't understand. And here's the reality. Here's the reality. They did a study last week that came out that actually tracked how much time Taylor Swift got on camera during Chiefs games. What do you think? What do you think the number is, Hoss?
Close to 20%.
Harrison knows the answer. Harrison knows
it should be like 2.
They showed her for 25 seconds. That's it.
Really?
That's it. That's
they brought it down. They brought it
down.
down.
No, they didn't. The championship game was the highest over the course of this whole thing.
We don't need to talk about. I was just trying to be funny. Like, I just know that so many people.
But that's what's funny about it. I get so frustrated with people who just are mentally lazy. Like, don't speak a thing to fact as somebody else said was just because somebody else said it, and then everybody else jumps in line. No, that's not. You know me well enough to know that I'm not built that way. I'm not built that way. Don't tell me that we see too much Taylor Swift when you don't even know how much Taylor Swift you're seeing, and you don't know why. Because guess what? Diane Cannon wasn't dating any of the players, but she was on camera during Showtime way more than Travis Kelce. Spike Lee gets more airtime than a lot of the Knicks players. That's just a part. It's entertainment. It's
DP's a Swiftie also then. So
no, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't care. I don't. If you tell me, when Adele's courtside for the Lakers, show me Adele. Show me Adele. When Stevie Nicks is courtside at the Garden, show me. When Billy Crystal's courtside with the Clippers, show me. You know why? Because that's a big part of the whole presentation. That's a part of the whole thing. And the people who are complaining, talking about, well, my football's being ruined by Taylor Swift. If you can't handle 25 seconds, oh my goodness, stop watching. Stop watching. Go get a hobby, because it ain't for you.
For the record, all I was saying was there's so many young 9-year-old girls that are upset when they're watching the 49ers play. They're really hoping the Chiefs win. That's what I was trying to say. But look,
I don't think that's true either. Listen, the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey has his own club. He has his own thing. George Kittle in the middle of the country, I hate to tell you that George Kittle is more popular in the Midwest than Travis Kelce.
The whole country. Everyone loves George Kittle.
We don't have what are we even doing?
George Kittle's the coolest football player in the NFL. I'm not just saying it as a Niner fan. Like, the way he talks on the mic, his charisma, the things he does with the wrestling, like he is the coolest dude in the NFL.
Well, I mean, I would lean back against that, because until he learns to dance like Travis Kelce, that's not true. It's just not true. Travis Kelce, listen, it's him, Baker Mayfield. They're 1A and 1B when it comes to putting on a show within the game. Listen, whatever thing people want to be upset about, okay, be upset about it. It's the Super Bowl. It's the two best teams, right? It's two renowned. We know the players. We know the teams. We kind of know the style. We lined up for the for the halftime show. We've been programmed and reprogrammed to care about the commercials. Most of them aren't good, but we will spend our time talking about it the following Monday. We'll sit back on media day and listen to dumb questions about things that don't really matter and have nothing to do with the game. And then finally, the game happens. And if you manage, I mean, the whole point of the Super Bowl, at Super Bowl I, when they charged $8 a ticket in LA, right? $8 a ticket. Do you know who shot? They went and had Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster shoot from the sideline of the Super Bowl because that was the only way to sell tickets, was to tell people that stars were coming and that stars cared about the game. It hasn't changed. It simply is.
Let me say something real quick that I don't listen to ESPN, NFL. I don't listen to TV talking about the 49ers. The only information, I don't read about it. I don't look at posts. The only information I get on the 49ers is when I watch them play. And the thing that I want to talk about, this is different this year. If the 49ers are up 4 with 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go in the game, just hold on 1 second. The team is different this year. I'm not going to be blasphemous and fully say this, so just don't interrupt. Just hold on. If a team is up 5, 6, 7, and you have Peyton Manning as your quarterback, you trust the situation that he's going to call the right play, call the right audible, and that this drive might last 7 minutes. If you have a quarterback like that, you understand that. If you had Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins, any of those quarterbacks, you're going to run the ball 3 straight times. You're going to punt. The other team's going to get the ball, and then you're giving it to Patrick Mahomes. So for the first time in a really long time, the 49ers have a quarterback that they trust if they're up 4 late to make the right play. And he does things sometimes that is risky. He that's who he is. He's not Brett Favre risky. Brett Favre risky was, I'm just going to throw this across the field through 2 defenders and it's going to get in my receiver's hands. He's not that risky. But it's a known commodity with Brock Purdy. That's what Shanahan has. He didn't know if Jimmy Garoppolo could connect a 5-yard pass. So he was scared and reluctant to call plays, which is why before the halftime in 2019, they had the ability to drive. They had time on the clock, and he's like, nah, we'll just go to halftime. And they had plenty of time. They were up 10 with 10 minutes to go, and they played it super safe, super conservative because he didn't trust his quarterback. To have a quarterback now that he trusts, and I'm not trying to put all this pressure on him. I'm just saying from the last 2 games, being able to see, okay, I have a drive. There's 7 minutes to go. Can I bring this clock down for us to win and just really go score? And he did that against Detroit. They were up 3, and they brought the clock down. So Detroit didn't have that much time left to come back. So that is a big deal that no one's talking about, that really good quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks do. Go ahead.
I don't know what you just said. I have no idea what you just said. I have no idea. Are you telling me that San Francisco 49ers game management is because of Brock Purdy and not Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in football? Or is that what you're trying to – is that what you're telling me, that that's not the difference? That Christian McCaffrey behind him, who grinds, the best playmaker on the field.
Yes.
Is it the reason?
We had this in August. We had this issue in August. If you put another quarterback back there, it is a problem.
You look, from your mouth, you could have put another quarterback back
Where is Purdy on your power rankings now? Where's he at?
I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. But hold on. I'll talk about it after the Super Bowl.
No, listen. That's funny. Listen, to watch that offensive team, and with the line that's in play for the 49ers, that offensive line and how they move and then how they gain momentum.
They're not a good offensive line.
They're the second best offensive line playing on Sunday.
Correct. 2 teams. They are the worst offensive line in the Super Bowl.
Nobody
Good
else
job.
matters. Nobody else matters. You're elite. Everything. Everybody.
No, they're not.
Everybody
They have the best
plays-
left tackle in football. The right side of their line is so bad. It's so bad. Their center's not good.
Who did the 40? Let me see. Let me get this right. Let me make sure I got this right. That you're telling me that the offensive line that takes a second year, almost still a rookie quarterback, and blocks for and creates space for Purdy to step up into space untouched for 7
He's
yards.
never untouched. Purdy makes his own stuff happen in the pocket. He always has pressure coming. Brendel is an average center. Feliciano has come in to take care of what they couldn't have with Burford.
Harrison. Remember the part where Haas said that the country was rooting for the 49ers?
Mm-hmm.
You remember why? It's because of 49er fans. It's because of 49er fans. Listen, I've listened to 49er fans talk down this team and talk down this quarterback.
I don't talk down this team. I don't talk down the quarterback. I've seen offensive
I
lines.
can't find anything about this offensive line being atrocious, Haas. They're not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not finding bottom of the barrel. You still got the best blocking tight end in the NFL. You still got a strong left line. Yeah, your right side's a little weak, but that's a stretch to say this is a really weak offensive line, especially the way they're running.
The weakest part of the 49ers team
on
is
an
their
all-star
offensive line. Is their offensive line.
You can say they're. I'm not going to say they're horrible. You got an all-star
They're
team.
average.
It might be
You said they're elite. They're not. They're not elite. They're average.
Yeah,
You're playing in the Super Bowl. Bad offensive lines don't play in Super Bowl.
The left side of the offensive
Here,
line.
look. I'm gonna say this one more again for you. Bad offensive lines do not play in the Super Bowl, Haas Breezy. Not
All
in
right.
the history of the Super Bowl. There
I
has
really
never
hope-
been.
I really hope I'm wrong.
There has never been a terrible offensive line that played in a Super Bowl. It doesn't exist. It's a lot. Look, you can tell me you want them to be better than they are. You can tell them you want them to improve in certain areas. But there's no way, especially in this day and age, in the NFL, that a terrible offensive line plays in the Super Bowl. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. Stop saying it. It's just not true. It doesn't exist.
I would like to revisit the Chiefs Buccaneers Super Bowl and watch that offensive line.
What were the rushing numbers for that Super Bowl?
Oh, I'd have to look.
How many sacks were
Mahomes was on his back the whole game, and they went and drafted an
he
offensive
wasn't
line.
not to put up the numbers he put up.
No, they got destroyed because of their offensive line.
Not to put up the numbers he put up. And remember who they beat to get to the Super Bowl. And remember how they beat them. What you do in the Super Bowl is just a byproduct of a whole season. You got to win 7. This offensive line had to be productive and protected for 17 weeks plus the playoffs against 2 really good defenses in order for them to play in the Super Bowl. How can you say a terrible offensive line beat the 2 teams that they beat, won the division, and then got to the Super Bowl?
DP, you're forgetting, man. I think he got sacked like 9 times. They went all training day on the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Like they went.
Allowed was 3. It's not as bad as I remembered.
No, it was bad. They lost 31-9 because Mahomes was murdered the whole game.
It's what it was.
It was bad. He was getting pressured a lot, but not.
There were 3. It's the Super Bowl. Every quarterback gets pressured in the Super Bowl. Ain't nobody walking out untouched in the Super Bowl.
Find the names of the offensive line. Find the names of the offensive line for that Super Bowl. If they were so good, they'd still be there. They went full up Denzel Washington. And he went Denzel. But they were like,
that's not true. That's not true.
I am taking all of you, and I'm taking you to Pelican Bay.
The greatest offensive line in NFL history was the Hogs. And immediately following their Super Bowl, Jeff Bostic, they couldn't wait to find a replacement for Jeff Bostic. And then they found a replacement for Arthur Tillman. And in the first version of the Hogs, Fred Dean was pushed out in year 2. Stop it, Hoss. The game moves and evolves. Teams move and evolve. Offensive lines have to change because the defenses change to it. They're different defensive schemes. Different things are asked of them. You can't, listen, any team that makes it to the Super Bowl cannot do so without good offensive lines and good defensive lines. Every NFL scout, coach, general manager understands that in full. Doesn't matter about the divas and stars that you have around them. If them big boys up front don't get it done, it don't get done. Period. And you don't get the Super Bowl with bad lines. You don't do it.
The biggest matchup that, as a 49er fan, I'm worried about is Chandler Jones against the interior line of the 49ers. So I think he's going to have a field day against Brendel and Banks and Feliciano. So that's where my concern is coming from. With that said, number one, I hate negativity when people talk about the 49ers. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to look at it. It's annoying. You guys are really good. Up whatever, down whatever. I don't want to hear about it. Just be quiet. It's really annoying. So I am not one of those people.
You just did it. You just did it. You literally just did it. The offensive line is terrible. Look,
when you said they're really good, I was trying to identify to you they're not really good.
They're good enough to get the 49ers into this year's Super Bowl. And for all of the 32 offensive lines in NFL, only 2 can say they were good enough to get to the Super Bowl. That's it. There's 2. And there's a whole lot of dudes who get a whole lot of money to block people in the NFL. And there's only 10 starters playing in next Sunday's game. Everybody else would trade salary, team, etc., to be where the 49ers' 5 offensive linemen are going to be next Sunday.
Oh, where they're going to be.
One.
Yes, where they're going to be. I'll take the off.
We really got to go to break, guys. We're going over. But Haas, I'll give you a chance to rebuttal. Hold that anger. It's good for it. No, I'm just kidding. We'll come back to break here. And, of course, 402-464-5685. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, final segment here on The Breeze on Ticket Weekends. Before we go ahead and throw it over to the Nico Project, we've got a little bit of time left. Haas, I'll throw it back to you right where we left off. All yours.
So women sports deserve recognition, and what we do on The Breeze, DP, you do a really good job of it on all the ticket shows, is to give women recognition. So let's spend the last couple minutes talking about it. They should get more time. So I'm going to bring women's college basketball real quick. Sorry, it's not Nebraska, and sorry, it's someone that Nebraska doesn't like. But what's more impressive? So a win against number 4 Stanford, where USC won 67-58. They won 67-58. Okay, where Watkins scored 51 points and had 11 rebounds. So almost as much as Stanford. She scored 51 points. Or Clark scoring 38 and having 12 assists, and her team scoring 93 points against Maryland.
I am going to defer, because speaking well of that evil empire puts a very large distaste in my mouth.
I'll stop.
I will support the 51 burger from that standpoint. And the other side of it, last night I had the opportunity once again to call the play-by-play for the Omaha Supernovas and the Women's Volleyball Pro Federation. And for the second consecutive home game, the Supernovas played in front of a crowd of 11,000 plus. 11,000 plus on both nights, the two most attended events in pro volleyball in the United States. And they get another opportunity Wednesday night against Vegas. The quality of play, the quality of game presentation, and of course, CHI Health Center is a phenomenal facility. But the ability to do this, to meet these young ladies, to get more involved in more stories of women's volleyball and what's going on, and then watching the league and the federation grow, to watch the game be highlighted. There's some exceptional talent in this league, 7 teams all across the country. I do want to say that there's no place like Nebraska, and for the second consecutive night, 2 home games, 11,000 plus fans came to watch these young ladies play the best volleyball in the country. Kudos, bravo.
Well
Absolutely.
done. Well done. We'll wrap with this. What'd you think of the storyline? Obviously, it was going to happen when we were at the Rumble with Bailey winning it. Do you like how they made it happen? Do you like how
Great
they made
delivery. Great delivery.
Yep.
Great
For
delivery.
those of you that missed it, the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky being there for Damage Control and talking backstage and talking a little bit smack about Bailey. And they show Bailey hiding in the locker room, not hiding, but she's just there like in the locker room, and they just kind of missed her. And then she comes out to the ring, and then they attack her, and they set up Io Sky versus Bailey, and Bailey was prepared for it. She knew it was going to happen. She had a pipe ready, hiding in the steps to go beat them up. So that was very good storytelling. Exciting job, WWE.
Great delivery. Great delivery. Harrison Orange, thank you, kind sir, for what you do.
You betcha. And that is going to go ahead and wrap up the Breeze. Be sure to catch the podcast or go back on YouTube in case you missed any of it. And if you're more curious about women's sports, we talked about that a lot on Bigger Than the Score. They actually had Nicole Kubik, former WNBA player, number 1 pick, 15th round. So if you want to listen to that, it's up and ready for you to go. But nonetheless, we got the Nico Project up next. Don't go anywhere. Plenty of ticket weekends ahead.